TNT Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with Rick LP. What's up? Unite and unify. I like that. Unite and unify. Kevin German, what's up? What's up? Good day to you. Joshua, what's up, Josh? Ferguson, St. Louis is in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Well, fam, we got another senseless killing in Chicago. Hate to pick on Chicago, but y'all in the headlines, fellas. Yeah. See somebody, you say Chirac. You know what, fam? You know, I know they made a documentary about that and everything, and all that sound good, man. But as far as like for entertainment, but real life people are getting killed out there. And I don't think people should try to come up with names for cities to amplify or glorify the violence that go on in the city, you know, trying to get a city these little nicknames, because it does something to people's subconscious. When you think about that, you know, like, man, I'm from Chirac, you know, that means Iraq, Chirac. It's a play on words, right? Means that, you know, it's a lot of, you know, a lot of get down go on in Iraq. So, you know, mainly when America is bombing it. So, you know, to call Chi-Town Iraq, it is not a flex. It is not some crown that you want to wear. Too many of us, and in the neighborhoods that we're from, and I've been guilty of this too before, you know, wearing that badge, that badge of, you know, that, oh, I'm from this place, I'm from that place, and we don't play out here. We killers, you know. Sometimes people call where I'm from the bloody nickel. I don't call Fifth Ward the bloody nickel. Yeah, you know, people die out there, but when you start calling where you from, you start associating where you're from with drama and trauma and death and violence and blood, it seeps into your subconscious and it becomes part of who you are. So that ain't cool to me. But I'm about to get into this story. Let me put up a pic of my subject here. That's Mello Bucks. Mello Bucks is a Chicago born and raised artist. There was a mass shooting outside downtown Chicago nightclub, and it left 4 people dead and 14 injured. According to reports, the shooting outside a club in Chicago's busy River North neighborhood overnight has left at least 4 people killed and 14 others injured, with several victims hospitalized in critical condition. Fam, I'm about to give y'all a graphic report. So if you don't want to, if your ears are sensitive, if this ain't something you want to hear so early in the morning, especially you got kids close by, I would advise you to move around, adjust your sound, or come back and watch this video a little later. The deadly drive-by shooting occurred about 11 p.m. Wednesday outside Artist Lounge nightclub in the 300 block of West Chicago Avenue, as a crowd gathered after the album release party for rapper Mello Bucks. The mayor's office of community safety confirmed. According to police, a dark-colored vehicle drove past the location with at least one person inside the car, opening fire into the crowd of people standing outside. The vehicle immediately fled the scene, police said. Multiple people in their 20s and 30s were struck by gunfire, according to officials. All of them were transported to nearby hospitals. 4 people succumbed to their injuries and were pronounced dead, police said, including a 24-year-old man who was shot in the chest and a 25-year-old man who was shot in the head. 2 adult women who sustained gunshot wounds to the chest also died, police said. Sources said the boyfriend and the best friend of rapper Mello were among those who died. 3 others were last listed in critical condition, police said, including a 21-year-old woman who was shot in the mouth, a 24-year-old woman who was shot in the leg, and a 24-year-old woman who was shot in the back. 2 were listed in fair and serious condition, a 32-year-old woman who was shot in the thigh, and a 31-year-old woman who was shot multiple times throughout her body. 8 of those shot were last listed in good condition, including a 29-year-old woman who was shot in the chin, a 29-year-old man who was shot in the thigh, a 31-year-old woman who was shot in the knee, a 25-year-old man who was shot in the hand and thigh, a 25-year-old woman who was shot in the thigh, a 30-year-old woman who was shot in the hand, a 29-year-old man who was shot in the forearm, and a 27-year-old woman who was shot in the foot. Photos and video from the chaotic scene Wednesday night showed a large police and fire department presence outside the club, with multiple officers and paramedics near the front entrance. Several police cars were blocking off the streets, and first responders could be seen rushing victims into ambulances. In the immediate aftermath, debris could be seen on the sidewalk and the street outside the club, with clothing and shoes strewn about. Early Thursday morning, a rolled up red carpet was on the sidewalk alongside an event poster. I got pictures of that. Got some other pictures here. Where are those other pictures? Outside hospitals where victims were being treated, emotional family and friends could be seen waiting. No one was in custody, and detectives were investigating, allegedly. It's worth noting, fam, that Hush Chicago, the former nightclub and artist's current location at 311 West Chicago Avenue, was shut down in 2022 after a shooting, with the Chicago Police Department deeming the club a public safety threat. Mello Bucks took to Instagram and had this to say about her best friend and her boyfriend, a longtime boyfriend. We was having so much fun in our private little life. Couldn't leave each other alone. Glued to my hip every day. It's not a night we ain't spend together. I'm so effing angry. You was woke. I held your hand until I couldn't. You talked to me. Clearly, I don't get it, boo. I'm effed up. She said that about her boyfriend. I said long time. I'm not sure if it's a long time, but she made it seem like they was together for a long time. In another post, she said, damn, shorty, my effing dog, my brother, you and Vontae was my two people. I'm so lost. I can't believe I lost both of y'all in one night. So check this out. I was watching one of Melo Bucks' videos where she was, it's a podcast. I think it's called Off the Porch. But she was on that podcast and she was talking about her life growing up in Chicago and her music. In that interview, she mentioned how these are images from the interview where she was lighting up. In that interview, she mentioned how a lot of dudes don't like chicks with Glocks. And she don't really give a F because that's who she is. And she said she get a lot of hate from dudes, from men. She get a lot of hate. But then she was talking about, the ops and, in fact, her Instagram is pretty opt. It's called Pretty Op. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. She called her Instagram. Where is it? Where's that Instagram? Yeah, Mello Bucks, that's the handle. But above the handle, as far as the name, she called herself Pretty Op. And see, fam, I'm going to tell you something. Back in the Gap, if people had names like that, it didn't really matter because, people wasn't really killing each other. They wasn't going up. We didn't have, there was no such thing as album release parties getting shot up. Over the last couple of years, it's like at least the fourth one that I've heard about getting shot up, an album release party being shot up, two involving girls, female rappers, right? This is the type, when women take on men energy, these are the results. So, I'm not trying to pile it on, fam. Believe you me, I feel for all involved. It's a lot of innocent people. And I do believe even Melo Bucks is a victim of her own environment to a great degree. She's a product of her environment. And just like me coming up, it took a while for me to get it, to catch my snap, And she's probably younger than I was when I caught my snap, when I finally caught my snap. So I'm not sitting here, on no high horse or anything like that. But I got to give it to you straight if I'm going to give it to you, because you're not going to understand it any other kind of way. So I come from that. I come from that for real. And it's wild because it's dangerous, but you really don't understand how fragile your life is. You really don't understand how fragile life around you is. Your people that you love and claim to love. You really don't understand how vulnerable you are when you go to places where people are tired of living. Let me say that again, because I need to make sure y'all understand how serious I am about this. I don't go to places where I think people are tired of living. Now, I know consciously a person wouldn't say, man, I'm tired of living. I'm ready to die. Not that type of tired of living, but tired of living by the actions that they take. See, the way that I live my life today is I make sure that my actions are consistent with the outcome that I want. If I want to be gunned down like a dog in the street, then I can go around just creating enemies everywhere I go. I can go around saying F the world and, hey, man, riding on people and boom, 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 and just all day long, just act on some stupid shit. I can do that. I can do that. Injecting myself in situations that don't involve me. I can do that. I can get on the internet, pull up. I can do that. It's easy. I could pull up, man. I could pull up. I know how to pull up too. You dig? But that ain't conducive to the outcome that I want. That's not consistent with the outcome that I want. When I wake up every day, I wake up with the intention of living the day to the fullest, being the best version of me that I can be. Putting in my work, adding to my legacy, visiting, if I can, visit somebody, a friend, a family member, call somebody up and make their day. Call somebody I ain't talked to in a while, surprise them. Call one of the elders and let them know somebody's still thinking about you, you still matter. Do some research or whatever, chill with my woman, It's simple. Acting a damn fool and injecting myself in the beefs and manufacturing enemies and accepting all challenges. That ain't part of the plan, because that type of energy will get you and people around you killed or thrown in jail. And look, fam, I ain't never really been, not really, I ain't gonna know why I said I ain't never really been, but I ain't never been afraid of contact. But I know that conflict is costly. So I try to avoid conflict if I can. Now, if my back is against the wall and I'm in survival mode, I ain't got no choice. But I try to avoid conflict because even if you win, you might lose. Now, I don't know the circumstances of what happened last night. I don't know what would have been so bad. What would make somebody so angry that they would open fire on a crowd of people who look like them, who come from where they come from, who have the same struggles and ambitions that they have, who mamas and daddies look like them, who actually share their bloodline somewhere down the line. Pull out a gun and indiscriminately just start shooting. Don't care who they hit, don't care who life they destroy. I don't know that. I don't understand that type of conflict. So the person who did it, I can bet you $1 to a donut because of the severity of what he did. He will be caught because of the boldness. He will be caught. And he will be put in a cage like the animal he is. Like the uncivilized mutt that he is, they will catch him and put him in a cage. And we're talking about something that could have been avoided. When I look back at most of the beefs that I've had, even when I've actually got into it and like really, people got hurt, I say to myself oftentimes, probably 99% of those situations could have been avoided if somebody would have had enough sense to just control their emotions. Check your ego. There are so many people we're walking on right now because they're emotionally unstable. They do not have control of their emotions. You can push this button that says jump and they will jump. Push this button that says scream, they will scream. Push this button that says swing, they will swing. Push this button that says shoot, they will shoot. They are not in control of their emotions. They don't control their own mind. Other people do. Because if somebody can push your buttons and you do exactly what the word on the button indicates, you ain't in control. They are. I make it a practice to do the opposite of what my ops expect. And when I say ops, I'm not thinking street level ops. Street level ops are so beneath me, man. I don't even think about dudes on the streets like that. I just don't. I know they're out there. I know they're dangerous. I got all of that. But they got limits. They got limits. Those same dudes are never, ever, ever remotely think about pulling up on a group of police officers and doing something like that. Even if the police call a mama a bitch, call a daughter a hoe, plant some drugs on them, put a false case on them, shoot their homie dead. They'd never even fathom something like that. That's why I don't respect them. I don't care how hard you are. If you got limitations, if you got a limit on the ops, that the people that do you dirty, who you ride on. See, a lot of it is just straight up self-hatred. It's just self-hatred, even if they don't want to admit it. It's self-hatred. Anytime you on some self-destruction stuff, you hate yourself. Anytime you're doing stuff and you know this thing can get you taken away from your family. This thing can get you 30 years, 50, 60 years in prison. You don't love yourself to be consciously doing things to get yourself put in a cage. for the rest of your days? You can't love yourself. I love myself too much, man, to let them get me. I didn't let them get me in the past, but hey, man, I got sharper. I'm a lot sharper. I'm a lot sharper. I love myself too much to just put myself in a position that would make somebody want to just, gun me down like a dog in the street. When I see bodies on the sidewalk, bodies on the ground, black bodies on the ground, on the sidewalk, it just looked like somebody, it looks like an animal that got slaughtered. It's no different than seeing a dog on the street. But it's a body. It's a human body. So they don't have, well, they haven't shared any information about a suspect. But I can guarantee you, whoever's responsible for that, their life is over. If the police don't get them folks gonna get them. But I'm gonna tell you something, fam. Much of what happens to you in life is the energy you project. That energy that you put out there is real. And you can't put that energy out there. You can't put that, I'm looking for the ops, and we putting the ops, and and getting online, talking down about folks, and just drama. Everywhere you go, it's drama. If it ain't you, it's your partners, the people you hanging out with. Everybody got drama. It's drama. Everybody got ops, and that ain't no damn way to live, man. I have a heart attack trying to live my life. Like, I'm too paranoid for that, man. I be looking everywhere, man. I mean, man, like, I'm that, man. I got to have some calmness in my life. I got to have some peace, man, because, I might get triggered and go off. I don't know. So the best thing for me to do is stay away from people who got bad energy. Stay away from people who always got a problem with somebody. Stay away from people who enjoy conflict. Stay away from people who are tired of living. When I was younger, I used to I would go anywhere that I thought was somewhere I wanted to hang out. It didn't matter where the girl lived. I didn't care if she lived on the south side. I'm on the north side. I didn't care if she lived on the south side. I didn't even think about it. I just went to her house. She living in an apartment in the projects. I just went to her house in the projects. I ain't thinking like these dudes might have a problem with me because I'm from the north side, which is ignorant with me because I never had a problem with no dudes who visited the north side from the south side. I never even got into that stupid shit, man. That's stupid to me. It's ignorant. How do everybody else get to just go wherever they want to go in the city? But if they black, they got to check in. What kind of shit is that? What kind of self-hate, self-degradation is that? So I ain't never thought about, I can't live over here. I can't go over here. I can't visit. I never thought like that. I'm a man. I'm a free man. And I go where I want to go. But what I don't do is go where I want to go and start trouble. I don't go where I want to go and beat my chest. I don't do that. And I do understand when I am in certain places, whether it's the north side or the south side, it's certain places that I go, it's certain places on the north side that I've never been to. Houston is a big place. You can drive in Houston for an entire hour and still be in Houston. I'm talking about straight, going straight. You can drive in Houston for an entire hour and still be in Houston. So it's places on the north side, many places, streets and neighborhoods. Well, I've probably been in damn near every neighborhood, not all neighborhoods though, but it could be another neighborhood that I just don't visit. I don't frequent. I don't know anybody over there. I go over there. I can't go over there acting like I'm the boss and stuff like that. You go over there, you wipe your foot on the welcome mat. Show some respect. You go over there flexing and trying to get tough and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think, my thinking is not that limited. Just like when it came to making records, I never made records for the block, just for my block. I never thought, man, I want to be the king of Fifth Ward. Man, I want to be the best rapper in Houston. I just want to be recognized in Houston. Nah, man. When I made records for the world, because I understood early on that the world is a ghetto. There's a ghetto all over the world. They just make us think that Black people are the only ones who live in the ghetto. Ghettos are all over the world. All over the world, including white countries. There's ghettos everywhere. And I understood that the world is a ghetto. We understood that the world is a ghetto. That's why we made the song. The world is a ghetto. Your ghetto ain't no harder than mine. Struggle is struggle. So all that acting tough and going around somebody else's place and trying to be tough, thinking because you from this place and they gonna bow down, you gonna mess around and go back home under a plane. You're gonna go back home underneath a plane. That's what's gonna happen to you. And that has happened to a many of cats who came from different places, trying to be tough, thinking because they from here, they from there, that everybody's supposed to just bow down. Nah, and especially, this thing happens sometimes when people come down to the South. They think the South is sweet. They think because it's slower, in terms of, entertainment and things of that nature. They think it's sweet. Yeah, struggle is struggle. Pain is pain. Hate is hate. Conflict is conflict. Anger is anger. And it don't have a face or a region. I used to go anywhere at nightclubs. It didn't matter if somebody got shot the day before. If it was something going on at that spot and I thought it was hot, I wanted to be there, I just went. And my mentality was, I ain't gonna mess with nobody as long as nobody messes with me. If they mess with me, I'm gonna give them everything they're looking for. But then I realized as I got older how crazy that was. Because you ain't got to be messing with anybody for somebody to mess with you. And you ain't got to be guilty. You don't have to be the bad guy to end up dead or in jail. You don't have to be the bad guy. You could have been completely innocent as I'm sure some of those people who got killed last night was. Maybe all of them were innocent. Completely innocent, not involved in no way, shape, or form, but end up dead anyway because of choices. Any rapper talking about killing folks and ops, pulling up, I ain't going to their release party. I'm not going. I don't give a damn who it is. I'm not going. I'm not going. And I don't care how talented they are. I'm not signing no artists who pulling up and shooting and killing and got ops everywhere. Because guess what's going to happen? One of these days, you're going to be standing up there and you might catch a stray. You're going to be walking with them. You're going to be in the car with them talking. You're going to be somewhere and you might catch a stray. I'm not signing no artists talking about killing all day. They ain't got the only message in their song is pulling up, killing, selling ass, whooping ass. Nah, man. Nah. I'm not doing that. Now, there's a time and place for everything. If somebody said, okay, they had a song or two, something like that, and the rest of the music, is touching on other things, that's different. But every song, that's all you known for? Nah, I'm not doing that. So when I was younger, I used to go to any club. It didn't matter if somebody got shot the day before, the last week. It didn't matter if 10 fights a night broke out. I just stepped back and I looked at it as part of the entertainment. It was just status quo. It was part of doing business, right? As I got older, I realized how sick that was. You got people that go to some of these spots, man, and they don't care if they live or die. And then you got others who care if they live or die, but they're not cognizant enough to avoid traps. So they put themselves in compromising positions, and they put their family and loved ones in compromising positions. And innocent people end up dead all the time. All the time. A lot of times people get confused about friendship, what friendship really means. We don't even know how to identify a good friend. We don't know what to look for in a good friend. So a lot of us think that as long, man, oh man, he was fighting. He helped me fight, man. That's my friend. That's my dog. All we saw is he helped us fight. And we think, that's my dog. That's my friend. Yeah, I'm gonna help you, man. He helped me shoot them fools, and we shot them fools. See, and we think, man, that's my partner. That's my friend. Do you know a real friend, a person who really understands friendship, would not put you in a position where you can get killed? Would not put you in a position where you could go to jail for the rest of your life? That's the kind of friend I want. I want the kind of friend that even if I wanted to do it, I need my friend to talk me off the ledge because I got bigger and better fish to fry. I got shit to do. I'm too valuable. I need a friend that see me as too valuable to die, too valuable to go to jail for a gang of years. I want that friend. No, I don't want a chick that carry the Glock. I don't want no chick that packed the Glock. For safety reasons, fine. But just packing the Glock and ready to pop off? No, I want a chick that's scared of guns. Scared. Like, I don't really want to use it. I do it though. Like you push me and I gotta save myself. You try to, I'm scared. I want, yeah, that. Like, don't really want to have a gun, but got to get a gun for her own safety. I don't need no chick that be like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, ready. Yeah, I'm strapped. You got strapped. I'm strapped. I don't want no chick like that. Y'all can have that. You can have. I don't give a damn what she look like. You can have her. I need a chick to talk me off the ledge. I need her to say, baby, I know he did you dirty. I know you're mad. I know you're mad. But you got too much to lose. You got too much going on. I need you. We need you. You're too valuable. That's the chick I need. That's the chick I want. Now, when I'm mad, that might not be what I want to hear. That might not be what I want to hear, but that's what I need to hear. I don't need to hear, oh, baby, you know, why is you taking that little punk ass 9mm? You need to take this chopper here. Take this here. This here. Now go get him, baby. Make me proud. You know I got something waiting on you when you get back. I don't want no chick like that. Y'all can have her. All this Bonnie and Clyde stuff, man. Bonnie and Clyde died. So that's what we are, fam. 4 people dead, 14 more injured in Chicago at an album release party for Mello Bucks. I wouldn't even want a friend that moved that way, that can just pull out a gun and indiscriminately shoot people, shoot in the crowd, killing innocent people. I wouldn't even want a friend like that. Because if that person can be that desensitized to human life, well, guess what? He took them out for nothing. What makes me think he wouldn't take me out for nothing? He killed those 4 people for nothing. He shot 14 other people for nothing, shot at the rest of them for nothing. At least most of them. So if he would do that to them, what makes me think he wouldn't do it to me? I want to read this again, this piece right, this part right here. What was it? Damn shorty, my effing dog, my brother, you and Vontae was my 2 people. I'm so lost. I can't believe I lost both of y'all in one night. That's a picture of her with her boyfriend and her best friend. So she said, I'm so effing angry. You was woke. I held your hand until I couldn't. You talked to me clearly. I don't get it, boo. I'm effed up. I get it. I get it. I get it when you you're putting a certain energy out there, it's gonna come back. You hanging with certain types of people draw certain types of energy to them. I get that. All of us, we got to realize that our enemies are our significant other enemies. Our enemies are our mother's enemies. Our enemies become our father's enemies. Our enemies become our sisters, our brothers' enemies, our friends' enemies, our best friends on earth, irreplaceable friends' enemies. So when the ops spin the block, they're not going to say, yo, move over so I can handle this business, so I can kill your friend. Nah, they're going to kill you and them. Because that's what go with that. Somebody, I'm going to tell you a cold-hearted truth, fam. I'm going to tell you a cold-hearted truth. Some of these dudes are so far gone. Their only talent is killing black folks. They don't know nothing else. They don't know how to do nothing else but kill. And let me back up. They don't even want to do nothing else but kill black folks. That's how far gone they are. They're so far gone. They don't, and see, and I suspect that this whole idea of trying to collect bodies is because they've come to the conclusion that they don't have any other talent. Or if they have a talent, they're too lazy to hone their talent and do something productive with it. So the easiest thing for them to do to get some attention, to feel alive, to feel needed, is just go shoot their own people like they playing some type of video game. Optimistic James says, I blame Scientology. No. At the end of the day, it don't matter what you say. We're all accountable for our own actions. Hey, man, you were violated sexually as a kid. That's hard. That's a tough one, right? That's tough. But guess what's tougher? Being violated as a kid and then turning around and violating somebody else's kid. Being violated as a kid and go out there and do something crazy that puts you in front of a judge, and that judge give you 40 years. Insult to injury. Somebody harmed you, so you justified harming somebody else because of your trauma. Don't work like that. I know a lot of people like to do that, but it don't work like that. We're all responsible for our own actions. You was beaten as a kid, you hated it. You hated being beaten as a kid. You hated being disrespected as a kid by your own mama, your own daddy. But somehow, some way, you carried that energy right on over. You rolled it right on over into your life. And you gave your kids the same business. You didn't pass down a business, you passed down trauma. And you excuse it by saying, well, it happened to me, and that's why I do it, and I know it wasn't right, but I did it. Poor war me. No, all that, man. Everybody got some pain, man. Damn near everybody done experienced some trauma. And everybody thinks their trauma is worse than the next person's trauma. Take a poll. I bet you 99% of everybody watching this thing right now can recall some type of childhood traumatic experience. And they're not using it as an excuse to harm their own people. They're not using it as an excuse to not get up, get out, and go get something legally. What's up, China Carter? No Prison TV. J.R. Ewan, what's up? Ruben Gutierrez, what's up, Ruben? Amazing Love. Cece Monet, what's up? Miguel Suarez says, only you blacks kill each other like that. And how do you kill? What are you? Are you a black? Are you a brown? What are you? You a brown? How do y'all kill each other? Killing is killing, you damn fool. Only your people only your people use the toilet like that. Using the toilet is using the toilet, you clown. What's up, Larry Lowe? Tony Black, what's up? What's up? Turn that cap lock off for me, player. Natasha Maureen, what's up? Tavares Gray. What's up, Tavares? That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. I'm coming back with another live. You know, I'm going to be doing more lives more regularly, so get ready for them. That's my time on this one. My condolences to all involved and all that were affected by this tragedy, this unnecessary tragedy. Yeah. No more talk.